I hear you love a PS3.
I do, but in the 1.8 update...
Virtuous Stick?
Yeah, so the Virtuous Stick, it always works on PS3 games, but it's only worked on PS2 games on the PS3 since the 1.7 update. But then in the 1.8 update of the firmware, it broke, and now it doesn't work anymore, which is ridiculous.
Sonny needs to know the other... Holy crap.
Crispin, you have the best toy I've ever seen. Ever.
Oh, thanks. I made it myself.
Keep away from my person! Get back to me, horrid person! Oh, yes, run, you coward!
I think you see a theme in what Rational does is that when we do something, we want to do it really well and have it not be broken.
Go away, hanger-on!
You know, a lot of games where there's a lot of character interaction, you feel like you're doing with a bunch of mannequins. I'd rather do something where everything you do in the game feels 100% complete. Bioshock's in an underwater city, and System Shock 2 was in a spaceship. The boundaries are natural, but we can completely simulate everything within there, and you feel like nothing is like, wait, why can't I go past that pillar?
Why do we have two eyes? Is this a law?
You're not finished! Not finished!
I never want to do something that pulls me out of it, and every piece of fiction in Bioshock, every character in the game is doing the things that you would believe they would be doing.
Is it difficult to appeal to a player's sense of choice, but then also make the game feel like a complete experience if you just want to play it as a shooter?
You know, I think a lot of problems with games like System Shock 2 and Deus Ex and things like that is they weren't great first-person shooters. They were great games, but they weren't great first-person shooters. And when Bioshock gets going, whether you look at the Exo-6 or you look at what we saw today, I think it's a great first-person shooter. On the action level, it's right up there with every great first-person shooter ever made.
They say it's a shooter first, and it definitely, you know, it has everything you'd want from a shooter. You know, it controls well, headshots do more damage, just basic stuff like that. But it kind of also boils down into all these encounters, because the enemies are always kind of randomly generated where they're positioned. So you'll go into an area and say you die, and you have to do it over. You come back in, they're all in a different spot, and that's ultimately what the most fun I got out of was just doing encounters over and over, because there's so many different ways to take down enemies.
It's Ryan! Goddamn Andrew Ryan! Failed. Damn it! They shut off access to Neptune. There's another way to get there.
You take damage off them, but then you die, they stay like they were. So like you can go to like a Big Daddy or something, you can hurt him a certain amount, and then die and just keep chipping away. You know?
Right.
The AI is pretty good, right? I mean, can a Big Daddy use a healing item or anything like that? Does it go that far? Or?
The enemies definitely will heal. The Big Daddies don't heal because they're just kind of like big lumbering monsters, but they have so much health.
These Big Daddies can just show up anywhere. You know, they can be behind you, they can be around the corner, and you don't know. Like if you've seen one in a room and you die and you come back, but it will probably have moved around the room and all that kind of stuff. So it's not some kind of predicted. You go to this area and then you fight the mini boss.
The generic enemies in the game that they call splicers, they're pretty tricky too, and that, you know, you'll be in an intense fight with some splicers, and then suddenly they'll take off running looking for a health station for themselves, which is a little bit of a relief because it's like, oh good, now I can have time to heal up too, but it's also kind of scary because you know they're going to heal up and come back after you, unless you do things like you can hack the medical stations, so if an enemy runs to it and uses it, all this green gas comes out and poisons them, which is pretty satisfying way to go.
Yeah. It seems like it's pretty combat focused. I mean, most of the powers that you gain are all powers that you use in combat.
Steady now. Your entire genetic code has just been rewritten by a plasmid called Electrobolt. I know it feels mighty strange, but breathe deep and you'll be better in just a minute.
It's all designed to be immediate and not like, oh, I roll the die and it does this. Light a guy on fire, he doesn't just take DOT, he actually looks for water and runs to it and throws himself into the body of water. The depth is right in front of you.